Hello there, this is Skrzypczak with STC, and today we have a new tutorial video for you. Does your project need a new custom element? Maybe something beyond what the SysML profile has to offer? Well, today we're going to walk you through how to create a profile with a custom element using a stereotype and customization within Cameo Systems Modeler. This can be saved and then reused from project to project via usages on Teamwork Cloud. Let's start with a finished product first. So on this diagram, we have a new element called StakeholderNeed, and next to it, a traditional requirement. This element is also in the diagram tool pane here in the middle, and we can also create it here in the containment tree. To create this StakeholderNeed element, let's start with using a stereotype. First off, what is a stereotype? A stereotype is a UML element reused in SysML that defines how an existing metaclass may be extended for use in a particular domain. These domains can include ones specific to military use, commercial use, and many more. To work with stereotypes, you need to create a profile package and a profile diagram. These are where you'll keep your stereotypes and customizations for your project. We will call this one Project Stereotypes. We'll keep things simple when making our stereotype and use the base requirement stereotype as a starting point, since it has a lot of useful features for a stakeholder need. The base requirement stereotype is in the SysML profile. This can be seen in your project usages, and an easy way to bring that into your profile is to bring an empty stereotype onto the diagram and start typing requirement, and it will populate. Stereotypes in the SysML profile should not be edited, and most tools won't allow you to do that anyway. Next, we'll create our new stereotype and call it StakeholderNeed using camel case. Camel case is recommended as it makes stereotypes easier to work with using validation rules and metrics later on in your project. We'll now create a generalization relationship between the new stereotype and the requirement. This allows the stakeholder need to inherit properties and attributes of the requirement stereotype. Let's add a new attribute to our stereotype. Say we want to prioritize these stakeholder needs against each other. So we'll add an attribute called priority. Next, we'll create a primitive enumeration value type and add low, medium, and high to it and use it to type the attribute. Now we have our new stakeholder need stereotype. Let's take a look and see how it looks like on a diagram right now. I'd like to use this mainly on requirement diagrams, so let's open one and create a stakeholder need there. Right now our new stereotype is a little hard to find, so let's take a requirement, remove its stereotype, and apply our new one to it. Notice how it looks like a requirement element? That's a good sign. We're almost there. So now we want to add this new stereotype to tool panes and drop-down menus to make it easier to use. We also want to distinguish it from a requirement as well. Cameo offers a way to customize how the tool interacts with the new stereotype. This is called a customization element. On your profile diagram, it's this thing with the wrench icon in the tool palette. We'll use this to help our new stereotype out by pairing in drop-down lists, creation lists under elements like packages, and many other adjustments. I'll touch on a few here, but check below for a link to the tool vendor's website for a description on each aspect of customization that you can apply. Let's call our new customization stakeholder need customization. Here's a list of settings I used for this customization. I set the customization target to be the stakeholder need stereotype we created. This targets the customization to that stereotype. I set do not suggest as type to false, as it allows the new stereotype to be seen in lists. I set hide metatype to true, and this hides the metatype the stereotype extends in lists. In this case, it would be the class metatype. I updated the representation text to StakeholderNeed with a space in it, and this changes how the stereotype appears in lists and tool palettes. I then changed the hidden own types. I made that port, operation classifier, property, reception, and collaboration use. And these are features that we'd like to exclude as possible inner elements under the new stereotype when you create it. So basically, when you right click on the stereotype, you can't create these inner elements. Lastly, I changed possible owners to include package, model, and profile, and this changes the elements that the stereotype can be created under as an inner element. And in this case, when I say inner element, I mean something that exists within the containment or the namespace of that particular StakeholderNeed stereotype. There's plenty of other changes we can make, but we'll stick with these for now. Next, we'll add this to our diagram tool palette. Here we need to create a new attribute in the customization called placeOnPalette. We'll name it NSOnRD, as we'll be adding it to the requirement diagram template, and we'll tuck it under requirements diagram. If you want to add this to other diagrams, you need additional placeOnPalette properties. Now the stereotype has an icon that will appear in tool palettes and drop-down menus. For the requirement diagram we created before, we may need to refresh, close, and reopen again. There are a lot of simple properties that you can change here. One thing I like to do is use the screen capture tool to screen cap a simple property window of a similar element, like the requirement one, and work off of that. Some common ones I adjust are the color, setting show stereotypes to being text and icon. That way you can see the stereotype icon in the corner. Wrap words set to true, and showing the tag values in a compartment versus on the shape. Showing the tag value stereotypes as false, so they don't show up on the compartments. And then suppressing attributes, operations, ports, behaviors, receptions, etc., because we don't need those on this element. When completed, you can hit save on the project and hit refresh and open and close as needed, or you can apply the stereotype from the project options window as well. And here we have our new StakeholderNeed stereotype to work with. This was a simple example, and for some projects you may have more complex customizations to make. And for help with that and more, and adding things like validation rules and metric suites, reach out to STC and click like and subscribe as well. Thank you, and have a wonderful day.